Hi, my name is David Mulligan, and I am with the Writers Bloc and the Virtual Channel Network. Welcome. Today, we are going to go over Twilight. Twilight is a pretty big movie. As a matter of fact, at the taping of this show, New Moon is top box office. I don't think there's even anybody in second, or if it's a second, it's a far long gone second. Anyway, so how did this happen? This came from a book, a series of books. The budget for Twilight wasn't very high at all. I mean, I think maybe 50 million is more of a radical estimate, being that you have a lot of actors and beautiful actors and stuff like that. But essentially, as far as like special effects or anything like that, it really wasn't that, it wasn't a big tentpole movie. And yet, it made like 300, 400 million, and it's still going, I'm sure. And of course, you have the sequels and whatnot. So the question begs to ask, does the screenwriter have anything to do with the success of this franchise? It's a good question, considering that there's a book, and the book is very popular, and the movie just really follows the book. But what does she do with it? How does she get into it? Let's take a look. You can get this script on IMSDB, which is International Media Screenplay Database, just like IMDb, except there's a little S in there. And you can get a lot of scripts, and one of the scripts you can get is Twilight. And the best part is we know the date of this draft. It's actually February 11th, 2008. Apparently, it was sent out and added to it, and you'll see here too. They'll show you. Major script changes for February 11th, 2008, and it goes down and it has listed scenes. Awesome stuff. If you're a screenwriter and you're writing a screenplay, yeah, you can read lots of other screenplays. Big writers, I'm going to get a William Goldman script and sit down and see what William Goldman does. But there's information you don't know. You don't know when the draft was, which draft it was. Yeah, you can watch the movie, and you can have the draft in front of you and you go, oh, wow, you know what? That scene's not in this script. Or this scene is in the script, but it's somewhere. It's not in the movie. So with this, you have an advantage because you get to see what they're doing to the script from the previous version. Take a look at Scene 1 on the major script changes. Scene 1 changes animal from buck to deer. I always like those kinds of changes. Those kind of changes have a sort of an underlining thematic feel to it. So the writer of the book writes the book, screenwriter writes the script, and perhaps in the book and in the previous version of the script, the animal that they're using in the first scene is a buck. Great, no problem. It's, in Washington, stuff like that, there are lots of bucks there. They changed it to deer. Why? I don't know, but you know what I like? They changed it to deer because deer feels to the reader, at least it feels to me, is a little more vulnerable. A deer is vulnerable. A buck is sort of, hey, don't mess with me. I don't care if you're a vampire. Don't mess with me. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going too far. Maybe it was just maybe they made the change because the animal wrangler didn't have a buck but had a deer. Who knows? But what do we take from this? This is what I take from it. When I'm writing a script and I make a decision on an animal or a kind of car or anything like that, I try not to be married to it. I try not to be chained to it. Is the change from buck to deer that important? Actually, I think it's a better choice changing it to deer because deer feels more like the main character than a buck does, And of course, in the scene, of course, the vampires are chasing the deer. It's probably even Edward who's chasing the deer. The love interest. Scene 2, this is another thing that they do that I really like. Changed Renee's age from 40s to 30s. When you write a screenplay, you have to write down the approximate age of the character for the reader to understand who is this person. And there's a very big difference between 40s and 30s. Why make the change? Does it matter? I don't know. It could have been the actress. It could have been something else. But the point taken should be, don't be so tied to the decisions that you make because when they change the decision, it may be a better decision for a multitude of variables. Something to consider. And then right under that, still in Scene 2, changed Phil's car from Subaru station wagon to just station wagon. Is it absolutely necessary? It has to be a Subaru? Can it be a Toyota? Can it be, well, it can't be GM, can it? Well, it can be. Of course, it could be GM. There's still cars out there. But they made the change and they said, you know what, just call it station wagon. Let's not be searching high and low for a Subaru. It doesn't matter. Subaru. So good stuff. So something to keep in mind when you're writing a script. That's it for this installment of the show. Thanks for joining me. I'm David Mulligan with the Writers Bloc and Virtual Channel Network. Because if you can get words on the page, you're not blocked.